This episode is part of our PDU Spotlight, and we take a look at the CCR Handbook. Hello and welcome back to the Project Management Podcast at pm-podcast.com. This is episode 431 and I'm Cornelius Fichtner. Thank you for joining us. Today we are shining a spotlight on professional development units, that's PDUs. More precisely, I'm going to give you a relatively short overview of the CCR Handbook, which defines all the policies around PDUs. And if you are a project manager who holds a certification from the Project Management Institute, the PMI, then you know about PDUs because you need them for your certification renewal every 3 years. And just to be absolutely clear, you need PDUs only after you have passed your exam. If you are still studying for your exam, then you need what PMI calls contact hours. But our focus right now here is on the PDUs that you need after you pass your exam. And because so many of you are project management professionals and you hold the PMP certificate, my examples will be primarily about PMP PDUs. And we begin at the moment when you pass your exam because, congratulations, you have just passed the Project Management Professional exam. And that was a major milestone in your career. Once you are done celebrating your PMP success, you need to take a deep breath and figure out what you have to do in order to earn the required 60 professional development units that are necessary to maintain and renew your certification in 36 months from now. Believe me, those 3 years before you need to renew will pass faster than you think. However, you can't just jump into earning PDUs without understanding the rules and policies that the Project Management Institute has in place. Doing so would be like walking into a sports arena and starting to play American football without ever having read the rules of the game. You'll make a lot of mistakes and probably walk away with a few broken bones. Well, no one wants to get injured from simply not understanding the rules of the game. And that is why we are going to take a look at PMI's rules for PMP PDUs, which are contained within the Continuing Certification Requirements Handbook. This CCR Handbook covers all certifications offered by PMI that require a renewal. So when you read over the renewal requirements, it's okay to skip over all those that are not for the certifications you hold. Some important aspects covered in the handbook include education PDUs versus giving back PDUs, the talent triangle, and minimum and maximum PDU requirements. Lastly, and maybe most importantly, as a PMP credential holder, you also need to know how to earn those very critical PDUs. So, I have 5 quick topics for you, each only about 1 to 2 minutes long, because today I only want to give you the management summary. These 5 topics are, first, PMP PDU categories. Then second, we'll look at earning PDU credits. Third, we have claiming your PDUs. Then fourth, we have PMP PDU courses. And I'm going to close with a summary. So that's going to be a summary of our summary here. All right, let's get started with number 1. That's PMP PDU categories. And here there are 2 basic categories of PDUs. There are education and giving back to the profession. The education category covers learning activities that allow you as a PMP credential holder to expand your technical, leadership, or strategic and business management skills as they are defined in the PMI Talent Triangle. The PMI Talent Triangle covers these 3 skill sets to ensure that we PMP credential holders remain current in a business environment that is continually changing. For that reason, you and I are required to earn 8 PDUs in each of these 3 skill sets. The giving back to the profession category covers activities that allow you to share your knowledge by contributing and help build the profession. These activities can include your work as a project management practitioner, the creation of new content, such as writing an article or a book, or giving a presentation related to the profession, sharing your knowledge through mentoring, or teaching and volunteering on a PMI committee. That's it for the PMP categories. We're moving on to the earning of the PDU credits, because there are a variety of methods to obtain PDUs in the education category that include attending a formal instructor-led courses, such as a PMI chapter educational event or a college course, an organizational meeting, such as a local PMI chapter meeting, self-paced online learning, such as a webinar or self-directed reading that is relevant to project management, or informal learning, such as a PM Lunch and Learn that is hosted by your employer. As a personal example, I just recently claimed 25 PDUs in the Giving Back to the Profession category for all the work that I do here in creating the Project Management Podcast, and PMI approved my claim without even flinching. The basic rule here is for each hour that you spend, 1 PDU can be earned, with the exception of working as a practitioner. But, why did I only claim 25 PDUs for my work here on the podcast? More about that in just a second. Because next, we want to talk about claiming your PMI PDUs. PMI has an online tool for reporting and tracking PDUs called the Continuing Certification Requirements System. That's the CCRS. The system is flexible enough to allow you to enter many different types of courses or other types of learning events, like reading a book, to earn PDUs. The CCRS tracks where you are in the certification cycle and shows you how many days you have left until renewal. It allows you to see your progress in earning PDUs and identify which type you may need more of, and it is a good resource for locating courses or events where PDUs can be earned. So, why did I only claim 25 PDUs for creating the Project Management Podcast for you, even though I usually spend several hundred hours working on it? Well, for PMP Renewal, you have to earn 60 PDUs during your 3-year renewal cycle. Out of these 60, a minimum of 35 must be earned in the education category, which means that the maximum for the giving back category is 25. 35 and 25 adds up to the total 60, and so I can only claim the maximum of 25. Of the 35 that must be earned under the education category, you need to earn a minimum of 8 PDUs within each of the 3 skill sets of technical project management, leadership, and strategic and business management, as they are defined by the PMI Talent Triangle. The remaining 11 of the 35, they can be from any area of the Talent Triangle. And also, if you wish, you can earn all 60 of your PMP PDUs within the education category, because not everybody gets 25 PDUs for creating the PDU podcast. So you could purely theoretically just go to courses until you have 60 PDUs together in the education categories, as long as you meet the 888 requirements of the Talent Triangle. All right, that's it for the claiming PDUs. Moving on to the PMP PDU courses, because now that you understand sort of the basic rules, you want to know how to actually earn PDUs. I have 3 ideas for you. The first and most popular method today is to use online or digital media as your PMP PDU course, such as those offered by our sister podcast, the PDU Podcast at pducast.com. Online courses like these are available from many providers. They are easy to consume and cover a surprising breadth and depth of knowledge. So you'll learn something new with every course that you watch. Even better, if you purchase your online or digital media from a PMI registered education provider, that's an REP, then you will receive pre-approved PDUs. This means that your PDU claim for these courses will be approved by PMI without question because the company that provides them to you is registered with PMI. Now, PMI can still audit your claim, but as long as you can show them the certificate and say, here, I got a certificate for these PDUs, PMI will go, okay, you're good, thank you, moving on. Second, you can also claim PDUs for your work as a project management practitioner. In other words, you'll get PDUs just for doing your job. This can be worth up to 8 PDUs per cycle. Here, PMI may require you to provide proof of employment and your job description to claim these PDUs. And finally, you can earn PDUs also by volunteering for your local PMI chapter. A list of these local chapters is on the PMI website. But it doesn't have to be a PMI chapter. There are other project management organizations around the world, and volunteering for any of those organizations counts. So online or digital media, working as a practitioner, and volunteering are just 3 out of the many ways available for earning your PDUs. A complete list of these is in the CCR Handbook. Well, and that already brings us to our summary. So, in this episode, I've given you a basic overview of the rules that are put into place by PMI for certification renewal and the type and number of PDU credits that are needed, with a focus on the PMP credential. To get a complete understanding of the rules and requirements, I strongly suggest that you download and read the Continuing Certification Requirements Handbook, so the CCR Handbook, from the PMI website. Just go ahead and search for CCR Handbook in your favorite search engine and then spend 30 minutes reading it front to back. Yeah, and that's it for today's PDU Spotlight and my management summary of the CCR Handbook. There are more PDU Spotlights coming where I'll be talking about how to earn leadership PDUs, how to earn all 60 PDUs in just 30 days, and I'll also be giving you 10 steps to certification renewal. Thank you very much for listening. Please visit pm-podcast.com for show notes, links, transcripts, and PDU information. Our email address is info@pm-podcast.com. And finally, we have this quote from Edwin Land. My personal philosophy is not to undertake a project unless it is manifestly important and nearly impossible. Until next time.